Hi friends, I have here an interesting email that I received from somebody, and before I go on, I just would like to tell you that each one of these messages that we receive here at the office, and we get a lot of them, both through our online courses, our school here, and also the office itself, and also all of these videos that we put out, publish, to share this message with all of you guys. We get quite a few messages every single day, and I respond to every single one of them. Sometimes we're here for a few hours, depending on the day, and I don't always answer the same day. I'll be honest with you, but I do answer in detail in some cases to every one of them. Oftentimes, it's easier to talk on the phone because I can explain a little bit faster, but if you send me an email, I respond by email, and I will invite you to call me so we can discuss this further. But this one email is interesting because it is written by someone's wife in reference to her husband. She writes about her husband, and she's actually seeking help for her husband. So what she says is that the husband refuses to speak English. In other words, he knows English, evidently as a foreigner, he knows English. I never met the husband or the wife. By the way, I'm just explaining, he knows English but refuses to speak. I assume that they're foreigners, immigrants of some type, and the man refuses to speak the language. So it's a very, very interesting notion. Turn off that ringer there. It's a very, very interesting notion for a couple of reasons that I think are important for us to understand. Number one, he, the man himself, is not seeking help. He is not writing, he is not calling, the wife is calling. And she not only says that she's certain he speaks English, but he simply refuses to. Now, the premise behind it, so her question is, how long will it take you, she says, before you can have him speaking English, like it's up to me somehow. And without being too therapeutic in these cases. We don't want to read anything into that sort of relationship or their marriage because I never met them. I don't know. But, essentially what she's asking me is, look, if I bring you this broken thing, how long is it going to take until you fix it? Notice the man is not asking for help in any way, shape, or form. And according to her, the problem is not that he does not know the language. The problem is that he doesn't want to speak it. This is what she says. So if a person does not want to do something, but they would like to be able to, let's say, so they have that battle within and they come to a therapist and say, look, on one hand, I don't want to do this. On the other hand, I really would like to. And I don't know what's troubling me. I don't know what's stopping me. I just have this battle within. Can you help me out? That's a whole different ballgame because this person is seeking help to address an inner conflict. But when someone else tells you that you should be doing something that you don't want to do, and I'm going to send you to the hypnotist to see if they can make you do what you don't want to do, that is, and in other words, we wouldn't work with that person here. I wouldn't take him or her on as a client because it's not the sort of thing that we do here. But I think in a society, in a civil society, in a loving society, we do live in a loving society. I know that there's violence in the world, but we're loving, rational, respectable people. And if the person doesn't want to speak the language for whatever reason, perhaps we should give him some space there and at least help him come to grips with perhaps, maybe it would be better for him or something else, but let's respect his desires and wishes. I believe that is going to work better. So I find it interesting because there is a large percentage of calls here into the office made by spouses, friends, children, parents, attempting to change other adults. In other words, I'm bringing you my son because he's not working right now. Okay, how old is your son? 57 years of age. I'm not joking. This is the type of thing that we hear at the office, from time to time. And perhaps the man doesn't want to work. Now, what's interesting in a situation like that is that oftentimes the mother who makes the call supports the man who sits on the couch all day. That's a whole different story, because it says, well, but why does it bother you that he doesn't work? Well, because I support him. Okay, maybe you shouldn't support him, and that's not my call to make. But if you choose to support your 57-year-old son, why does it bother you that he doesn't work? In other words, maybe you shouldn't support him, and he would make a different choice. I don't know. So the point I'm making here is that when it comes to other adults making choices, if we focus a little bit more on our own choices, in other words, people have the right to speak the language or not, people have the right to work or not, but you also have the right to not support the adult. Does that make sense? So if we begin to make those kinds of choices, acting into ourselves a little bit more and making choices that are more consistent with our own values, then we wouldn't have to waste so much energy in our society attempting to coerce, to compel others into behaving as we would have them behave. And I think that that would make for better social, family, and marital relations. So this is just an invitation. I know it's a poignant topic. I know it's a little bit out there, but I just wanted to bring this out to all of you because I'm hoping that many of you will make a comment and let me know how you feel about this. Would you call a therapist to ask him or her to change someone else, another adult who evidently doesn't want to change or is not asking for help or is not asking for a change? Let me know what you think. I'm curious about this. Thank you.